So last month, I got to go on a little vacation out to Texas to visit my parents, and on the flight, they had Kung Fu Panda 4 available. Boy, am I glad I didn't go see this in theaters because, man, this movie sucked. Spoilers ahead as I get ready to explain to you why Kung Fu Panda 4 single-handedly ruins this entire franchise thanks to lazy writing. Folks, let me get this out of the way. I am a huge DreamWorks fan. Kung Fu Panda is a franchise that I love. So of course when I saw the announcement of Kung Fu Panda 4 this past spring, I was excited. Did I see the need for another film? Not really. But at the same time, I wasn't gonna naysay it until I saw it. And then I saw it. While the past 3 films moved me to every emotion you could think of, this movie did nothing to move anything except some cash flow into the CEO's pockets, and you can feel it in the movie. Show, don't tell is dead. The first thing that I caught on to within the very beginning of the film is that there is so much dialogue. Good lord, we don't know how to do anything except explain to the children what's going on by holding their hand with dialogue these days, do we? The introduction was a solid exposition of our villain, the chameleon, who we will get to later. After that, we have a cool fight scene with Po saving a village, and then after that, we have yap, ceremony, yap, Shifu, sorry, not now, yap, no, the Furious Five are not here, they're all on super cool missions and they can't be here. It's a lot of explaining about what's happening and making up for the time gap between the movies, instead of just letting the story play itself out. There was a lot more creative ways this whole exposition could have been done, and you could just feel the lazy writing from this point forward. This is the same franchise, with moments like Ugui's vision, a scene that gives you insight on a main character's view of the main antagonist through one sentence,
Tai Lang will return,
and a flashback. Or my favorite example, Lord Shen's arrival in the Kung Fu Panda 2 film. Even though we have an introduction of Lord Shen's backstory in the beginning of Kung Fu Panda 2, you can watch his arrival scene by itself and know exactly what kind of guy this is, through his demeanor, through the pacing, and through the peacocks on the front door, in contrast to the masters currently living there. That's creative writing. I can't recall a single creative moment of show don't tell in Kung Fu Panda 4 in the exposition. Maybe there was some later on, but it just wasn't memorable. It's all just very dialogue heavy plot movement, and that was a huge reason that I find the movie is just not that good. I'm the Dragon Warrior. Who's that? This plot about nobody knowing who the Dragon Warrior was is ass. Straight up booty cheeks. So to give you some context, I'm going to give you the movie description that is on Google and then what really happened through my eyes. Here's the movie description. Po must train a new warrior when he's chosen to become the spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace. However, when a powerful shape-shifting sorceress sets her eyes on his Staff of Wisdom, he suddenly realizes he's going to need some help. Teaming up with a quick-witted fox, Po soon discovers that heroes can be found in the most unexpected places. Here's what really happened. Master Shifu is forcing retirement onto Po simply because he said so. No other reason other than it's time. They take on a corrupt, tax-hungry empress from a big city who sucks at kung fu so much that nobody would train her, so she turned to witchcraft in order to be able to steal the moves of all the previous kung fu masters and, rule China or something. And during their journey, nobody outside of the Valley of Peace knows who the Dragon Warrior is.
And I are here on official Dragon Warrior biz.
Dragon who? Warrior what?
He has been all over China by now, defeating all of these villains. People would know who he is. The story is just weak, and it's not believable one bit. The only reason I could see Shifu trying to say that it's time for Po to retire is maybe he's defeated all of the villains that this generation's gonna have to deal with, and then by the time the next generation of villains rise up, he'll have time to train a new Dragon Warrior. But that's not even reasoned in the film, so if we're going off of the film, it's simply just retirement because Shifu said so. And it's not believable one bit.
Where's the skadoosh?
Speaking of not believable, the chameleon. She sucks. That's really all I have to say. I'm sad about it too, because her concept is cool, but they turned her into a pity party, and they didn't even give her a name. Even Empress Chameleon would have been a little bit nicer than just the chameleon. Anyway, onto her motive. She says that no one would train her because she was small, and this drives her vengeance. But one of the Furious Five is literally an insect. smaller than she is, so I don't believe this one bit. It was also coded as a feminist struggle when she says that none of the masters would train her because of her physical disadvantage, but 2 of the Furious 5 are women. So, womp womp, chameleon, cry me a river. Your kung fu is probably just ass, and not everybody got that foo in them. She's a pity party feminist agenda that I am just sick of seeing in films. I've seen it over and over and over and over again.
Well, I saw that coming.
The coolest scene in the movie. I like to try and end things on a positive note. So let's look at one really sick shot that I loved. I will say this might be the one good show don't tell moment that we see in the film. I might prove myself wrong, but only for this one part. The rest of it, dialogue. Jen tosses a familiar weapon at Poe, and Poe pulls this move. If you're a fan, you recognize this. I know I sure did. This was how Master Shifu redirected the blade from Tai Lung. Cool callback, we see all the growth that we need in Poe, maybe a little indicator that he could be ready to surpass Shifu and become the Master of Wisdom, but I still don't think that that plot is necessary with the way that they did this film. If I had to rate Kung Fu Panda 4, it is squandered under the thumb of all 3 films before it. It feels like a spin-off movie for the Nickelodeon shows. It's gonna be a 2 out of 5 for me. The 2 stars are for the 2 little chuckles that I had from Ping and Lee being amazing dads, and the cool fight scenes, and the one cool blade redirection callback scene. But the plot is not there. DreamWorks, I hope the CEOs that ruined this film for you learned a lesson. They probably didn't. But ain't that just the way? Thank you all so much for watching. I have a handful of other movie reviews on this channel, and it's still growing, so be sure to subscribe if you're not yet and you liked this video. And let me know, what did you think of this film? I would love to know if you thought it was also booty cheeks. And we could all trauma bond over how bad it was. Remember that you are loved, and you can draw a stick figure. Till next time.